everyone, I'm Sharon with Entelechy Visions, and this is an energy update for the week of September 23rd through September 29th. So we start this week off with the autumn equinox, which starts the fall season, the harvest season, and it happens between the 22nd and the 23rd, just depending on where you are in the world. This is marking a return to balance. It's a day of equal night and equal day. So it's really inviting us to return to that balance in our own lives and really what matters for us. Because we've been through quite a bit of grunt work in Virgo season over the course of August into September, of a lot of details and fine combing our lives and seeing what works and what doesn't, but also having really long to-do lists and maybe a lot that was taxing our systems because there was a lot going on. So we may still feel this overwhelm or stress or maybe some fatigue around that. So this is asking us to return to the balance in time and ready for the harvest season that is beginning. So this past week, we had the momentum begin in our life. Saturn went direct, and we're starting to feel this build of this momentum, this movement for our lives. And this may feel a little slow going at first. It's kind of like it has to pick up speed again. It has to gain that traction. So to have patience as that momentum is building, and it will build as the weeks pan out. And as October comes around, we'll find that that momentum is really gaining speed. But right now we're kind of like in this slow going. It's trying to dust itself off our lives, our path, and really pick up that speed and get going again. So just be patient with how things are evolving and the harvest and things that are showing up in your life. Trust that they are being orchestrated and things are aligning for the best for your path. So with this equinox season, with the start of the fall season, we also have Libra beginning, the Libra season, which is all about balance as well. And it's mostly about the sign of relationships. So we'll find that the theme of relationships comes into focus for our lives over the next couple months. And this is really teaching us to find balance in our connections in all areas of our life. So whether that is business connections or personal connections, it's about finding that balance of power and give and take and see what's occurring. Are you getting what you need? Is the person that you're connected to getting what they need? Is there an imbalance of power? Is there an imbalance of receptivity or an imbalance of how much you're putting out? So sometimes we can find ourselves in connections that feel very unbalanced, where we aren't feeling like we're getting what we need, or maybe the other person isn't feeling like they're getting what they need. And sometimes we can reassess what these agendas may be or our intentions for the connection. That at times people can have maybe self-centered motives or their own personal agenda for how they're connecting to you. And at other times it can feel like this mutual bonding, this mutual pairing, where the balance of your energies and the power within that does feel mutual and balanced. So just reassessing what is needed for your personal commitments and your business commitments. Because oftentimes we can even reach out to others who we feel like this connection is still going, or we have an intention for a connection to still be going. and we aren't hearing back from that person, or we aren't receiving any kind of connection. They're not reaching out to us in the same way. So that can be a very unhealthy bond, because in a situation like that, you are actually giving more than you are receiving. So looking at things like that, how much are you giving out and how much are you getting back? And what is the true intention of your relationship connection? And this can be with friendships, this can be with family, this can be with intimate partnerships, with business, at work, coworkers, all kinds of things, that we're all connected, and the quality of our relationships each have their own specific flavor and also energetic and emotional balance to it. So just look at the areas that maybe need some shifting or some reassessment or some perspective alignments around the quality and intent of why you are connected to a certain person. Or maybe there's some things that you need to accept and to let go of as well. So this could highlight a lot of that. And also communication, because a big part of relating to others is communicating. So to be open and honest with what you need, to not hold back or not be afraid to voice your concerns, or to voice what you truly need within your heart. And to also listen, to be an active listener. Because yes, we should communicate our needs, but to also take the time to listen to what others need. Maybe there's something that we are not giving that they need. So it is that balance of what can we do to kind of shift things and to fine-tune our skills of giving and receiving. So this will all get looked at over the next couple months into Libra season. And we also have a new moon on the 28th of this week, and that falls in the sign of Libra. So that really kicks off the quality of looking at our relationships and finding that balance within them. So right now we are really being asked, as all of these gears begin to move and things start to happen in our lives and doors begin to open, you're finding that maybe some greater ease and some flow is returning to your life after so much that we've been through, that it's really beckoning you, it's really calling you to answer to your soul's purpose, to answer to your life's mission, to the very thing that your heart is asking you to align to. Is there that nudge? Is there that inkling that's kind of bubbling up within you? Maybe you are putting it on the back burner, or you are procrastinating, not listening to it, maybe telling yourself, I'm not ready for that, or to share something like that. Those nudges and those inklings that you're having within are pointing you to a direction that is aligned with your soul. So those soft nudges that are free of fear, because we have the nudges that are full of fear, but the ones that are free of fear are aligned with your higher self. So the reason that we're being beckoned towards our life mission right now is in preparation for the year to come. The year 2020 is already seeping into our lives, and it will be a very big year for that matter. So not one to fear, but one of great transformation. So we're kind of getting all of our ducks aligned, things aligned in our lives to really shape us to express even more and to expand even more as this year comes. Because this is why you are here. This is why your soul chose to be here at this time, to be part of this big transformation on the planet. And you're needed. The special gifts that you can offer and that you are getting those nudges to offer are being called to step online, to share even more so, especially for these times. So listen to those nudges and really feed into them and allow yourself to move to the areas that you're being called towards, because that will really show you parts of your next step. Your next steps will really begin to be revealed the more that you listen to your own gut instinct, your own intuition, and what your heart is really calling you towards. So we have an exciting finale of this month because we are moving into more levity and more expansion with this forward momentum that's happening, which will roll us right into October and even greater harvest season up ahead. So one more piece before I finish this out. I want to touch upon the whole aspect of how we are shifting, not only energetically, but emotionally and mentally as well. On this awakening path, on this ascension path, when we shift energetically, new energy comes into our bodies, comes into our field, and it really recalibrates everything, whether that is through a solar storm, whether that is through an experience we are having, whether that is through our own intent and readiness to shift something. When we are faced with an experience where we're going through a shift, if that's just a day that you're not feeling quite like yourself because you're undergoing a transformation, or if it's a week or a couple months, this is very, very common right now. So if you feel off and you have days where you're really not feeling yourself, and maybe your mental chatter is on fire and your body's super achy and you're tired, this is part of the ascension path. So when you're going through something like this, it's important to have the proper tools to manage and handle what is occurring with you physically, mentally, emotionally, and energetically. And so during these periods, each period may be different from the next, because as you elevate within your path, you're releasing density, you're releasing layers, you're releasing the old. And if you're watching this video, I'm sure you have already experienced a lot of those experiences. But it's a good point to really face those transformations and to be an observer of your experience. There's many tools, and I do have a library of videos on my website that highlight some of those additional tools you can use. However, a good one is to really kind of step back and to see what's occurring for you as temporary, as an observer of your experience, kind of like you're watching a movie. And if your mind is on this hamster wheel of cycle, know that that is passing. So when we release energy, it moves through all our layers. And so it's passing through the mental layer of our field as well. And so that can hype up and feel like our thoughts are just crazy sometimes. So the psychological effects from the ascension cycle can be pretty potent some days. So it's good to be aware that this can happen And if this is happening to you and you have days where you just feel really nutty and you can't get a hold of your mind at all, try to step back, be the observer of your experience. Tell yourself that it's temporary, it's only passing, and it's the old energy releasing. And to do something that brings you joy, to kind of step out of your mind and step into a flow, even if you're not really feeling like it. Kind of force yourself or nudge yourself to a practice that's going to bring you joy. Whether that's creating, whether that's walking outside in nature, whether that is doing a hobby that you love, whether that is reading a book, watching a funny movie, something that's going to not just distract you, but move you into a flow that is a little bit more lighter and joyful, and allow your process to move in another way while you are enjoying and experiencing yourself and uplifting yourself at the same time. So you can have these parallel experiences where you're really going through it, but at the same time you are tending to your own well-being, your own mental state, emotional state, and things will follow that. And so as you actively take care of yourself, then your mind shifts, your emotion shifts, your energy shifts, and you'll notice that there can be some ease with the process as well. So you are not alone, and I want to say this here because things can be more amped in the months and years to come. So it's good to really be mindful of this and to practice all the self-care that you need as we go through these shifts. If you need more personal one-on-one support, you can always reach out to me at entelekivisions.com, where I offer remote sessions by phone or in person in Arizona. And if you have any questions, I love to hear from you. So I thank you for listening, and I hope you have a beautiful week ahead.